going on, folks? SAPdude here. Welcome to another video. As you see, I'm in the middle of something. Actually, I was going to repair this car. This one belongs to Clutch Masters company, the Texas workshop basically, and they use it for, of course, daily basis to go to clients, basically to use it as a part of their fleet. And there's a problem because I cannot finish repairing this one. I don't have necessary skills, I don't have also time, so that's why we are going to procure external service. So basically some other company will come to us and they will fix this engine. Basically they will finish the work, yeah? And to do it, we will of course use SAP system to initiate the whole procedure, and of course to then register it in the system and so on. So before we do it, actually I want to mention two things. In SAP world, there are two approaches for this thing. So we want to procure external service and we have two options. There's a classic external service, which is for instance based on service master. You use specific transactions in GUI, for instance, to then receive it, and so on. This one exists in the system for many years. And the second approach is so-called Lean Service Procurement, which is available starting from SAP S/4HANA system. And we will focus on in this video on this approach. Of course, there are different configurations needed. Of course, there are other master data. But you will see that this new approach is way better, and then you can implement it in your project. That's why we will now switch to a quick presentation where I will show you step by step the logic or the procedure when it comes to Lean Service Procurement, and then we will come back to Texas Workshop and finish this work. Here we go. External Service Procurement starts with plant maintenance order. This is the best practice. Why? Because as a plant maintenance guy, we can define our needs. And for instance, on the screen right now, we see that we need to repair a compressor, and for this we need support from external company. Of course, in our case, in this one, we will use our car and define our new requirement or demand that we need help with the assembly of an engine. So this is the first step. Then the so-called purchase requisition gets generated automatically via our plant maintenance order. And you also see it here on the screenshot. So basically, our plant maintenance order, once it's released, it generates so-called PR, which will be then used by our procurement department for further processing. Because the next step is to create purchase order. And this will be done by procurement department. They can display a list of PRs, of purchase requisitions, and they decide whether they want to process it further or maybe they will reject it. So once it's approved and selected, such purchase requisition is transformed into purchase order. So this is the document which we will then use for instance, of course, goods receipt. We will receive the service. Then of course we have to pay for it. And this document, PO, purchase order, will be used for this reference. Then we go to the next step. So procurement department, purchased the service, and now it's time to perform it. So the external company comes to us, to our workshop, our plant, our basically facility. They perform the service, and then the next step is to confirm it. So of course they confirm it physically, that they did the job, they signed some documents, but we perform these confirmations also in the system, in SAP S/4HANA. And for this we will use a new approach, which you see on the right side, with so-called service entry sheet Fiori Application. And this one is only available for Lean Service Procurement. Because for a classic services, there is no Fiori app like this. There is a GUI transaction which is basically awful. Once the service is performed and confirmed, Of course, there is an invoice, we pay for the service which was provided, and that's the end of the story. So basically, this is it. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is specific configuration for Lean Service Procurement. And if you want to see these details, in the description of this video, you will find a link to my Ultimate Course, which I just published, and where I describe everything when it comes to config, when it comes to Fiori, user steps, basically ultimate knowledge. So if you need such details, make sure you check it out. Now I will show you 3 or 4 differences between Lean Service Procurement and Classic Service Procurement. So what we will do now, we will just compare these two approaches. First of all, let's discuss the booking simplicity. So classic services are really complex. There are GUI transactions which are not so user-friendly, which require constant training for the users because they don't work in a user-friendly manner. In Lean Service Procurement, everything is simplified by Fiori App, which you will see in this video. Now let's talk about the service item which is used, which is basically selected in planned maintenance order and which triggers the whole process. In classic services, we use so-called service master. In Lean Service Procurement, we use materials with specific material type, in this case, SERV. Then we go to flexible workflow for service entry sheet. For classic services, it's not available. For Lean Service Procurement, of course. And there are also other things, like for instance, service value limits, which can be specified. For classic services, it's impossible. For Lean Service Procurement, it is. And the last thing which I want to show you in this free video on YouTube is how we confirm a service in the system. In classic approach, we use only GUI and we use transaction ML81N. In Lean Service Procurement, we use new Fiori App, which is simplified, which is easy to use, and of course to understand. Alright, with this in mind, we will now go to SAP system, we will create a maintenance order, initiate the external service, then go back to the Texas workshop and register the work. Let's do it. I'm already in the Fiori Launchpad and application called Maintenance Notifications and Orders, because we will start with notification, which I already created. Why? Because we follow the phase-based model, and this one starts with so-called maintenance request, with so-called initiation phase. If you follow me already, you know the previous videos, also some blogs, where I was talking about this approach. So what I do, I select the notification. I already accepted it. So now what I will do, I will just create an order. And for this one, we select the YA01 maintenance order. Order has been saved, and what I will do now, I will find it over here and go to change maintenance order. Because now it's time to define the external service, basically to initiate it. So the description will let's leave it like this: finalize the assembly of the engine. But now what I will do, I go to operation data. Of course, we have the Range Rover selected. That's also something that you so first of all, I will change the view to external and I will do something here. Again, if you want to know the details, how to configure this Lean Service Procurement, or basically what are the specific settings there, make sure you check out the description of this video. There is a there's a huge Ultimate Course which I created where I discuss everything in details. For instance, in this topic, but basically everything new when it comes to S4HANA Asset Management. Alright, so what we will do now, in classic services, we have to change the control key to PM02, but actually in Lean Service Procurement, we stick to control key PM01. So that's one of the details of the differences between these two approaches. What I just do, I go to Services tab over here, Now we have to find the service, and in the column product we are looking for the material type SERV and for specific material number. So what I do, I just select this icon and I will enter maybe just service with double asterisks because I already created such material, and voila, this is the first one, external service mechanical. I have the info from the system that I have to select the category and other things, so I will just do it right now. Voila, so I just added the external service mechanical non-stock item. We also have the details. For instance, we need 1 hour of this service. We can define the price, but these things can be then overwritten by the procurement department. For instance, when it comes to price, when it comes to hours, during the confirmation of the service, the confirmed hours might be higher than the one procured. So everything depends how we deal with this topic. All right, it's fine. What I will do now, I will release the order. Before we leave this maintenance order, I just want to show you additional thing, because once we release the order, something happened, and I guess you already know what happened. So the purchase requisition has been automatically created, and we can find this information in one of the columns over here. We have PR over here. I can click it over here and go to the details, or there's also a second option in plant maintenance order. There is something called documents flow. We go just to, you can also this section and then display document flow. And we see the step-by-step flow of our work. So we start with a notification, then we create a maintenance order, then we define operation 0010, and then from this operation we triggered automatically purchase requisition. We also have the material here and the details. Alright, with that in mind, now let's create a purchase order from the purchase requisition. I quickly jump to transaction ME21N, which is being used by procurement department. Of course, there are some Fiori apps which we can also use for this purpose, but this one is like a classic one. First of all, I make sure that they have the right document type selected, in my case standard PO and B, and now I will launch this document overview because I want to find the purchase requisition. So I select from this icon the purchase requisitions, and I will just enter, maybe I will leave it like this, plant TX01 Texas. Alright. And I have the last, basically the list of purchase requisitions which are relevant or are basically open in this plan, and I have this one only. So what I will do, because this is about the service, I just have to select it and I drag it to this icon. It's a shitty way of working. I'm more into user-friendly things, but let's forget it. Now I will quickly select the supplier and we will save the purchase order. Here we go, the supplier has been selected. I also added the information about the price. So we as procurement department, we decided to align with this supplier that for 1 hour of this external service, we will pay them 500 euros. So now I save the PO and it's time to go back to Texas Workshop and provide the service by the external company. Here we go, folks. Now as an external service technician, I just arrived to this Texas Workshop with my old timer, and we will repair the car. We will repair the Range Rover. Basically they procure some kind of work which we have to do. So let's go inside. So again, now I'm an external service provider. I'm a guest over here in this facility. So let's just make sure you understand the scenario. All right, so let's do it. So the work is already in the system. Everything is fine, but to do the work, we have to do it physically, right? So that's why I pop the hood and now we start with the work. I see we have the engine head over here and other stuff. So first of all, I see, there are many parts missing. So let's do it that way. I will now finish this part. There's also radiator here missing. So we have everything inside. The parts are already here. So it's just time to assemble everything. Let's do it. I will start with intake manifold let's do it. I have it over here.
Yes.
All right, this one. Cool. Now it's time to mount the engine head cover. Let's do it. There are many other parts here missing. Alright, like this. Then I will mount the ignition coils. This one is in good condition, this one as well. Seems like it's going to be a quick work. Let's see, throttle. Alright, we got 4 bolts over here. And the last one. Alright, and now we will place this radiator over here. And we will also have this fan housing, right? So yeah, this is the better view from here. So first of all, I select this housing, this fan, and the fan number 2. Alright, so seems like the work is done. Of course, I will also fill the engine with new oil. So let's do it right now. Let's pour some oil like this. All right, cool. This is done. So I think that would be it. Let's have a final look at the engine. The work is done. Of course, I see the coolant is, I think, empty. So let's do it. They didn't specify it, but since we provide professional services, I just do it like a proactive work. All right, exactly. Perfect. So the work is done. We can close the hood. And yeah, I will just leave. I have some documents to sign, but this is it from my side. Then the Texas Workshop company will confirm this work in the system by using the Fiori App, the service entry sheet. So my work is done. I can finish. I can leave the facility. The external service has been physically provided by the external company. So now it's time to do so-called confirmation in the system. So we, as for instance, procurement department colleagues, we have to enter specific transaction or Fiori application and confirm this activity. And since we are using Lean Service Procurement, we use new cool Fiori app called Manage Service Entry Sheets. So I go inside and I click Create. First of all, I will enter the name of service entry sheet. Let's say it assembly of an engine. Alright, now we have to select the reference, basically the purchase order which we created in the previous step. Here we go, and now I will select the personal number. In my case is 26, then SAPdude is number 26, basically it's a contact person. And I'm automatically moved to the purchase order item. So I select this one because it was only in this PO we have only one item. So yeah, I just select it. And I will also set the posting day for goods receipt. So let's say it happened today on Friday. I repeat the activity, the service, the performance period is 12. Over here, I have to also enter the time. Let's say we procured 1 hour, but actually the external technician spent only half an hour, and I select it. I go down and I can enter some notes, I can enter attachments, maybe like a photo of the work which has been performed. I just leave it like this. We also have some cool graphic or diagram which shows what was the expected amount, so it was 1 hour when it comes to procurement, but we now state that we confirm half an hour, so half of the, let's say, procured service. What's also cool, we can for instance change the item description here to some detailed one, like assembly of an engine. I will just leave it like this. So what I will do now, I just click at the bottom of the screen, create. And voila, the service entry sheet has been created. And now everything depends how your system is configured. Because you see, before posting, we can also send it for approval. So we have so-called flexible workflow. But in most of the cases, this is the end of the story. So the service has been confirmed. So the service has been confirmed and booked in the system. The next step is to generate an invoice and pay it for the service. Of course, in this video we will leave these steps. What I want to mention, if you want to see the step-by-step configuration of this approach or classical one, consider checking the description of the video. You will find there the link to my Ultimate Course where I explain everything when it comes to asset management, to SAP S/4HANA, and basically new things like this one, like phase-based model, and many more. So make sure you check it out. If you like the video, share it with others, consider subscribing the channel, and of course spread the good knowledge of SAP system. See you in the next video.